What's going on? I'm Glendon Cameron, founder of Hustlers Kung Fu, the place where your real financial education begins. Just letting you know, welcome, all of you new people. Today, we're going to talk about why you need a $10,000 credit card. Now, I know that may seem strange, but I'm going to give you the background, and I'm also going to teach you how to get one. So stay tuned. Be sure to watch to the end because I have something super, super special for you. All right. Let's start way back when. And it's still kind of a standard, but we should exceed standards. $5,000 was the credit limit that went into prime credit. There's subprime credit and there's prime credit. Subprime credit is the $300 credit cards, the $1,000 credit cards. There's something called a signature visa, which the minimum credit limit is $5,000 or $10,000. And signature visas report totally different to credit bureaus than regular visas. Now, you're getting in, let's say you have a credit score of 720, 730. You go to the bank and they give you a credit card with a $2,000 limit, a $3,000 limit, or a $4,000 limit. They don't give you the $10,000 limits or the 15 or the 20 to 35 or 50 even. There is something wrong with your credit, your income, or your debt to credit ratio. There's something wrong because if you have a good, let's say a 750 or above, every time you apply for a credit card, you should get well above a $10,000 credit limit unless you have really low income. So this is what happens. You get those $2,000 and those $3,000 and those $4,000 credit cards. Then you apply for more credit cards, and what do you get? You still get stuff that's roughly your same limit, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, maybe $7,000. But you don't seem to cross that threshold of 10, 15, or 20,000. Now, why is this important? You've got like a credit score above 700. Every time you need to get credit, you can get a car, you could qualify for a house. Well, your credit is like regular credit. You don't have super credit. And I'll explain what super credit will get you versus regular credit. You're in a situation where you're always scratching, as long as you keep your job, as long as you can make, quote, the minimum monthly payments, which is a bad thing to do, you're good. And you keep this perpetual cycle of regular credit on. It's like you become a slave. You become an indentured servant to your credit because you're like, my credit score is 750. My credit score is 800. I can get whatever I want. But the question is, can you treat your credit card like a charge card where you pay it off at the end of the month? We're going to get into that in a little bit more, but I don't want to get off track. So essentially, if you have good credit or even bad credit and you're on these subprime, and let's go ahead and define that again. Subprime is credit card limits that are under 5,000, and prime are credit card limits that are over 5,000, preferably over 10,000. Now, when you're in that subprime category, you get a lot of offers. You get stuff from Prosper, you get stuff from Lending Club. They're all over you because your credit score reflects that you're a person that may overextend yourself at times, but you always pay your bills. And that's why they come after you, because you are a cash cow. You are that sweet spot for the credit card companies and the banks where you're always going to pay your bills, you're always going to pay this interest, and you are being milked dry. Now, let's say you have really, really bad credit. Like say you're 450, something like this, and no one's going to give you a credit card. This is the technique for you to get your $10,000 credit card, and it's going to be somewhat extreme. Number one, you have got to make that a mission. It's got to be a mission. You've got to go ahead and tell yourself, this is job one, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to make it happen. So you get rid of all of your other garbage credit. I mean, if you have store credit cards, get rid of them, pay them off, close them down. They're pretty much worthless. I know the Best Buy credit card is wonderful, interest-free for a year. That's a gank because so many people do not pay that item off in a year, end up paying a lot of outrageous interest. So you get yourself a Wells Fargo secured credit card. You get yourself First National Bank, U.S. Bank, Bank of America, and these credit cards. And I understand that, because you are broke, Dick Danny, you don't have any money. You can put just $1,000 on that credit card. Fine. Start with 1,000. Start with 500. But what you do is you do not use that credit card. You open it up, and every time you get 2, 3, 4, you throw it on that credit card to increase your limit, but you're not using this credit card. You only, because you want to get to, because Wells Fargo will let you do 10,000. Now, the thing with Wells Fargo is you can't be late and you cannot exceed a threshold of using more than 30% of your credit. Ideally, you want to be at 10% utilization never late, and not the where you can be like miss the payment date, but not miss the 30-day late date, which reflects on your credit report. You cannot even be payment late with Wells Fargo, because if you're payment late and you go over your limit or your utilization is out of whack, the card will never ever graduate. So be very, very careful. And this is where you need a budget. This is where you need certain financial controls. This is where you need certain things in your life, because if you don't do this, you will be forever the slave of the credit card company and the banks. This is not going to change. It's just going to be this way. And you can, quote, have a good credit score, but because of the way that you manage your money and the way that you manage your credit, you are a slave. It's kind of like, you're like a house slave. You get to put on clothes and stuff, but you're still a slave. Now, you're on this journey. Once you get to 5,000, if you got Wells Fargo, you push. Even if it takes you a year, because this will help you. Because let's say you open this credit card now, which is November, and it takes you until August of next year to get to that $10,000 limit. Well, guess what? Because you've been jacking up the limit, you haven't been using it, you've been showing financial responsibility, that card might graduate after the year mark. It might, because, this is the thing. You got to be very, very careful with all of these cards. Citibank doesn't even have a secured credit card business. And let's talk about Capital One. Capital One, and this kind of goes into the conversation, Capital One will keep you in subprime credit card lending categories. Their secured cards like 250, 300, those are garbage cards. They're worthless. All they will do is keep you in that subprime category of under $5,000 in credit limits. You've got people out here who've had like credit profiles for 30, 40 years, and they got exposure limits. This is all their credit cards, like 10, 12 grand. And then they'll say, well, that's all I need. I don't need any more. And I'm going to tell you why you need more right now. When you get into the realm of super credit, everything changes, because you get to a point where every time you apply for a credit card, you're getting a $35,000 to a $50,000 credit limit. At this level, you only need 4 to 6 credit cards. So let's say you've got 4 or 5 credit cards, and they're like $200,000 to $250,000 in open credit lines. You can use $10,000, you can use $20,000, you can use $30,000, you can even use $50,000 of your credit, and your score either stays the same or goes a little higher. But because so many people are with that, I'm afraid to be financially responsible, then they keep these low credit scores, they keep these low situations. And this is the thing, once you lose your job or you run into some financial hardship, and I'm gonna tell you, it's some stuff that happened to me, and you got these low credit limits, you will be jacked. You will be totally, totally jacked. I had a situation many, many years ago when I was in the storage auction business. Actually, I even talked about it. It's when Amazon just ganked us. Not Amazon, but eBay. eBay, 2,000 listings, all gone. They held 32 grand in PayPal. Now, what I didn't tell y'all was, at the time, between personal credit and business credit, I was sitting on about $350,000 worth of credit lines. I didn't use them. So I started using my personal, because my business credit to me was more important than my personal. And at the time, And this doesn't exist anymore. But at the time, you could get business credit cards, Visa, MasterCard, with just the EIN within 6 months. It was totally, totally different than it is now. So I had about $150,000 in personal credit, and I used about 40 to stay afloat. But I had enough credit where for about 3 months, I was using my credit to pay my credit. And then when the money started coming back in, I paid that mess off. When you have super credit of $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 in credit lines, you could live a year off your credit, being conservative, not balling out, not taking trips and stuff. Crank it down where you're using 30, 40, 50, and you can, because your credit lines are so high, you can pull money from this credit card. And I'll even, in the course that I'm going to mention later, I even teach you how to do that. So essentially, had no money, and I was able to use my credit to live for 3 to 4 months, and my score went up. But if you stay in subprime credit card territory, you will never, ever experience this, because here's the thing that we know. Jobs are disappearing. People are getting laid off. You could have a year's living expenses tucked away. You could be very prudent with your money. And once again, you get hit with that situation where your income goes down. And once you're in like your 40s, your 50s, you may never recover that level of income. I have a friend who's an engineer. He was making $140,000 in the 90s. He got laid off, found another job. Then he was turned 50 something. Then he got hit with the big layoff. He didn't work for almost 2 years, a lot of contract work. And now he makes 90. And this is the highest income he's had since he got laid off. It's taken him 8 or 9 years. And if he gets laid off again, this is it. There is no recoming back, and that's why he's like watching videos and stuff. He's like, oh, I'm starting me a business while it's good. But you got to leave the rim. And once again, it's numerically based upon your credit limits. If you do not have a credit card with $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, you have subprime credit card limits, even though your credit score may say that you are a prime. Because it's kind of like, as in the military, we used to have this term called acting jack, where you got the stripes, but you didn't get to pay. It's like you got the stripes, but you don't get the credit because banks are playing you. So if you have good credit, there's another way to do that, and that'll be in the course that I'm going to show you. But you've got to leave subprime credit rates and credit limits territory. You've got to, because as you know, there's some I don't think when you have things that quote are suppressed on your credit report. Let's say you filed bankruptcy 12 years ago and then it just stopped showing up. It's not gone. It's still on your credit report. And if someone does a full financial audit, like what they do when you get $1 million insurance policy, or they're going to see that. Now there's a difference between repression and deletion. Big difference. So while y'all marinate on all that, I'm about to jump off into these comments and see what y'all talking about. Let's see. What's up, D. Coleman? What's up, Mama Needs Her Wine? What's up, M. James? The Wild Joan Report, Donovan Green, Shalise, Rink Chick. Okay. What's up, Lamode? What's up, Dinah? What's up, Alvin? What's up, Sandro? That's fishy. That's a strange name. I was going to drop 10K on the Wells Fargo. You need to get past that subprime credit limit stuff. What's up, Tim Pfizer? City has one now. We're going to actually check that because I know for a while they didn't. All right, Roof. Let's see. Let's just get rid of Roof because Roof is talking about some nonsense. Ruben, hey, I took one credit card out and I wasn't being responsible to the lack of responsibility, so I went over 40. Will these steps still be available to me? If you have one credit card that you've abused, you've gone over the limit, you were late, No, that card will never graduate and you will have to start over. They won't tell you that. And I told my wife not to get the garbage. Yeah, the $300, the 400, that's just crap. That's really crap. You can go to your credit limit, your credit union, and get like a 5,000, a 500 to $1,000 starter card. We're talking hustle. What? Wait a minute. Hustle in my DNA. We're talking about why you need to get a $10,000 visa and how to get one bad credit. We do not talk about other stuff during these streams, so keep it congruent. Pinpoint accuracy. What's going on? What's up, Yolanda? What's up, Rugged Collars? What is going on with all of these weird chicks? Aunt Banks, what's going on? What's going on, Crump04? Byron Dupart, Capital One has been very good to me. I started off with a secure credit card. I have an $8,000 credit limit with them. Let's explore that. What time frame? Was it this year, last year, or was it a few years ago? Because Capital One has changed their credit card products. Let's see. Auntie D, what's going on? It's wild, man. What's up, Ken Division? Hanko, AKW Beats. Hanoko, are you saying to put 10K on the secure card? Yeah, I am. Selena Jones, I have a 500 limit starter card on my credit union that I've abused. What can I do about it? You got to start over. What's up, Mr. Vine? Listen to the content of this video. Do nothing with it. If you don't have a valid and permissive purpose, don't do anything with it. Don't get in trouble. So, all right, let's go ahead and explore. Let's see where I'm at time-wise. Okay, let's explore. Because when you have these secure when you have these secured credit card products, and they stop at 2,500, they're intentionally keeping you in subprime credit card limit and keeping you there for a reason, because it's a sweet spot. They could just keep sticking you and making that money. So that's no good. What is? Hold on. I need to get rid of. Let's see, blocked that one. All right. Hanoka, can bankruptcy ever be overlooked, and can you get super credit with a bankruptcy in the past? Yes, you can. Byron Duper, I got 75,000 total credit, but I got 30 cards. How many of those 30 cards are store cards? I want you to take all of the limits of the store cards, of your Macy's, of your Lowe's, Home Depot, and deduct that from your total credit limit. Let's see what that looks like. What's up, Lieutenant Johnson? Cecilia Jones, so close that card and start a new one? Yes, pay it off and close it. Sure thing, Leslie. So 2015. What did you start off with? What cards would you recommend for secured credit cards? I would recommend Wells Fargo, U.S. Bank. I would not recommend Citibank. You got to do some research, but any credit card that gives you a $5,000 or more limit. Now, Anton Banks, I call City, it used to be 5K. Now, ask yourself, why did they go down from 5K to 2,500 as the limit? With up to 5K, they don't lose any business with people, doing the limit to 2 or 3. So, let's see. Why did that happen? Because I know I set that up. All right, so let's go back and do that. Hold on. All right. Yeah, this is garbage. And they brought that down to 4,900. So that's garbage. Just saying. All right. That is really wild. All right. DR, can you name the secured credit cards that this was worked with? I'm gonna create a list, and that's gonna be part of a paid product, because there's a lot. I got to do some research on that. All right. Is it true that closing a credit card hurts your credit score? Once again, it depends. You should never close your oldest credit card, even if you got a low limit. There's something that's called average age of your credit. How long you had credit, your average age of credit. So your oldest card is a big part of that, and if you close that card, you can lose a lot of points overnight. So it just depends. Sandro, I had a business, but I'm just building me credit because I never had a card. Yeah, you're going to need to change that, Sandro. All right, so Byron Dupart, you had $75,000 worth of credit, but when you get to the Visa and the MasterCards, it's only 30. Now, I want you, you can do what you want. I don't know your situation. Maybe pay off all, if you have balances on that, and slowly close them. Here's another thing about super credit. People with super credit do not have store cards. Let me say this again. They do not have store cards. All of their credit limits are Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover. They do not have any store cards. None. Well done, LLC. I'm only cash with the business. You're going to have to change that. Sandra, Wells cards, so I can drop 10K and leave it for a year? Yes. Now, Sandra, this is how you got to treat that Wells Fargo credit card, because Wells Fargo has a few ganks. First, You can never be late, not even payment late. You can never go over the limit, and you can never utilize, just to keep it safe, never use more than 10% of the limit. Also, they have another little hidden clause that they don't tell you. While you're waiting on that, you want your credit score to be 680 to 700 before that year is up, because if your credit score, even though you've had the card and you've treated it right, they're not going to convert it if your credit score isn't high enough. And that's a little something that they don't tell you. But the trick to doing that is to get not one but two secured cards so you can get that benefit of enhanced credit score. Sandro, they're sending me Amex pre-qualified. Okay, if it does not say pre-approved, it is an application. Once again, if it does not say it's pre-approved, this application. Pre-qualified is just a fancy way to say that, yeah, we might give you a credit card because of the information that we got from the credit bureau. So unless it says pre-approved, do not pull the trigger on it. But I also will say that American Express is very open to giving new businesses a low limit platinum, like, 5 or 10 grand. So it just depends. Randall, I need to start over. How do I start? I have subprime credit. All right, so let's see. Where am I with this? Because I'm trying to keep them short. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to make sure. I don't know. All right. All right. What I'm going to do. All right. So I've created this bundle, and I actually worked on it last night. I'm going to work on it some more. And let's see, let's just get rid of Bank of America. All right. So what I'm going to do, because I see that there's a big need for this. Here we go. So what I'm going to do, and I've made this super affordable. And what I'm going to do is create a vetted list of, okay. I don't know why my computer is tripping. There we go. So I'm going to create a vetted list of secured cards. I kind of know who I'm going to put on there, but I'm going to go ahead and create another little guide. I'll do that today, of the secured credit cards that you can get, the qualifications, the gangsta stuff like that, and they'll be part of this course. So I do believe I have it under the video, but I'm going to just give you the whole deal of what's credit, because the way the bundle works. And let's see, unlimited credit. Now this is for people with good to great credit, and they want to get the super credit. They can get the super credit faster. This is for folks who are, your stuff's tore up. It's just tore down. That's just what it is. We can help you with that. And this is about money management. Plus, I'm probably going to add some more stuff to it. But yeah, because budgeting is key. You need to budget. Make sure that this is, nope, it's not under there. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to put it under the video so you can get this. But this will help you tremendously, because you will be armed with knowledge. There you go. Let's see. Let me pop in here. So hold on, I'll answer a few more questions. Hustling. If a credit union closes a credit card on you, does that affect you? Yes. If a credit card closes, yeah. If the credit grantor closes the card for you, other than you're not using it enough, yeah, it's going to impact you. Even if anytime they close it, it's going to impact you. Marina Forever, how long does bankruptcy affect your credit? Just depends. It could be 2 years. It can be forever. Just really depends. All right, thank you, Byron. So I finally received a Amex for $12.50 the other week. Should I apply for another card and get a limit over 10,000? So more X1, more details because you already got the 12,500 Amex. And this is the thing. Once you get Amex, well, what is that Amex? Is it an Amex Blue? Is it a platinum card? Is it a green or is it a gold? Because they have different criteria. Yeah, I mean the budget is everything because what happens is you got to understand your budget can also keep you in subprime credit category. So let me go ahead and finish explaining the offer. All right. So for $99, you cannot say that you can't afford this and this is breaking your pockets. What I'm going to do is add some more stuff to Disruptive Money, personal budgeting and things like that. But that's the offer. This is what you can do. This is what you can get that's going to help you build super credit. Now, you can go from very bad credit to super credit. You can have bankruptcy. Now, let's just be real. If you have a bankruptcy, it's going to take you time. It's going to take you years, not months, not weeks. It's going to take you years. Anyone telling you different, they are lying to you. But you can do it. I did not file bankruptcy, but my credit score was like 480. Had repossessions on it. Yes, repossessions because stuff my ex-wife did. And the thing is, I wasn't like a spendy dude. I'm still not a spendy dude. And I was just like, it was just messed up. But it took me 8 months. But once again, the world was very different then. Credit was very different because Bank of America had like a $10,000 secured credit card. There was so many options and there was so many things you can do. Where today, if you have bad credit and you do not do the right things, you can have bad credit forever. Or you can be in subprime lending category forever. And it really doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't. All right. No, it really depends. Because, see, this is the thing. With bankruptcy, it depends upon you, your financial situation. Because, all right, I know of this situation. Someone who filed Chapter 7 bankruptcy bought a house 3 years after Chapter 7, and they had an income of $120,000. Now, this is why I know you can do it. Because first thing they did after they filed Chapter 7, because they had 2 credit cards that they left out. Actually, that's not true. They were going to try to leave them out, but you filed 7. You have to file 7 on everything. But they had $30,000 cash that was coming to them from a client. So as soon as their bankruptcy was it, what is it? Filed, not dismissed, but whenever it's finalized, whatever that's called, I had them go to the bank and put 10 G's on 2 credit cards. Because after you file 7, you could still, and this was a little while ago, but they were able to buy a house on credit. Now they put 30,000, they put 30% down. But they bought a house 3 years after bankruptcy. But once again, high income, and more importantly, they had the knowledge. Because if you have bad credit and you're trying to rebuild your credit, you have to have at least 2 to 3 new accounts to really move things along. And that just, a lot of people just think paying off your bills or paying off the liens and stuff, that does not improve your credit one iota. Paying off an old bill, that may improve your relationship with that bank, but does not improve your credit score. Let's see. Okay, and I know I'm going to have a lot of people who are going to ask a bunch of questions. I would love to talk to y'all one-on-one. I really would, but I would never get anything done. So just to let you know, if you want to ask questions, go through Patty, and also be sure to subscribe, get on the text notification squad list, because that's where it's going to be. The only time you can talk to me and ask me questions for free is during these live streams. Any other time, it's going to cost you. I'm just being real about that because I would literally spend 20 hours a day answering questions. And that's just not going to make me any money, just to be frank about it. All right, let's see where we're on the time. Cool. All right, so I'm about to bail. I will catch you guys later. Be sure to get on the text notification list. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and be sure to leave a comment after this live stream renders because, we are giving out t-shirts. And everyone that's on the text notification list gets the best deals. I'm just saying. All right, so with that, I will catch you guys later. Peace.